This is Gene Adam, formerly of Iced Earth, and you're listening to Podcast of the Wicked.
Welcome to Podcast of the Wicked. I'm Metal Rose.
And I am Bill.
And today we have Jamie and Gene from Jacob's Well. You guys also know Gene as former original singer of Iced Earth, John Schaefer's Purgatory. Cool stuff. We're very happy to have you guys. How you doing today?
We're doing good, man. Everything is well. Jacob's Well is we're moving and grooving, man. We're busy, very busy band. We got a lot of things going on all the time. This month, November, is like our little lull in the whole thing, but December we're playing every week, and we're just very busy. So it's a blessing to be able to play a lot. And we have a new live album coming out. So back in, when was it? It was August.
Late August.
So in August, we scheduled a performance at my church. They have a big room there with a stage and everything. So we got a full band together: bass player, lead guitar, me and Jamie, and Chloe on violin, and Levi on percussion. And we picked. We tried to pick a few songs. So we have, for those of you who don't know, we have several albums. We started, and we should probably tell the whole. Can we tell the whole story?
Absolutely,
Sure.
We'd love to hear it.
And so we met in 2015.
Well, yeah, earlier than that, I came over to Lakeview Church in 2011.
2011.
And then,
Wow.
And then, we knew each other. But
Right.
Like I didn't know you played music. I didn't know you were a rock god either.
He didn't know I was a rock guy
Yeah.
of metal.
Older pants and long hair. But then we started doing music together. I did sort of like a little coffee shop thing. He came out and played some songs. I was like, man, those songs are really awesome. And then, we kind of.
Right. And he did like a music showcase, like he said, and I came out, and then we just said, well, we just started jamming around at some coffee shops and stuff, kind of like honing our craft a little bit. It was just me and him, and he would play like guitar and have like a bass drum, and then I would play guitar, and we just started playing a few cover tunes, and we had some originals, and it just kind of kept growing. And then a year later, maybe, or 2 years, we met Xander, like in 2016 or 2017.
Played with us.
Right. So Xander, for you, those of you who don't know, Xander is the guy in our band that plays the washboard. So my son, who is 25 now, he's almost 26, he's away. But his friend Xander played washboard, and I saw on Facebook, I saw him playing washboard with his dad. And I'm like, wow, that is really cool. Like, that would be the perfect thing for what we want to do.
Yeah.
So I contacted him, and he's been jamming with us ever since now for 10 years, and he works at Guitar Center, and he teaches a lot of Friday nights, so he can't play with us a lot, but like on Saturday nights, he usually plays with us, and he goes on tour with us and stuff.
Very talented.
Very talented. He plays bass, he plays drum, he plays everything, guitar.
That's so cool.
But and then as the band just progressed, we just started recording. Me and him did an EP together in 2017. And then in 2019, we came out with Bitter Days, which was our first full-length album. And then in
The
COVID album was called The Climb. And that was our second full album.
Yeah.
And then in between, we've had some like EP stuff like that, 4 or 5 songs, 6-song EPs. Mountain Air and Carolina Breeze. And then 2 years ago, we came out with Harvest Wind. And then there you go. And we remastered it at Morrisound. And then, so we decided, like, for our 10-year anniversary, we should do a live album. So we Chloe, the girl that plays violin with us. Why do I have to do that when I say Chloe?
I don't know.
When I say Chloe, I have to go like that.
When we talk to her,
It's like when you say goatee, you have to go like that. It's a goatee. You can't say the word goatee without touching your chin. I think. I don't know. But so Chloe's dad, he's a great dude, Todd, and he just does so much for her and all his kids. But when so the way we met Chloe, I'll tell this
Great
story.
story.
So we're playing downtown Newport Richey. We're playing in this little brewery called the Cody River Brewing Company. And we're playing our last set, which is kind of like where we do some more country kind of songs. And her and her dad and mom, they all come into the place. She had been playing out on the street busking. And so they came into the thing and they're like, hey, can our daughter play a song with you guys? So we're like, yeah, we'll do Country Roads by, Bob Denver.
Yeah.
Country Roads and Wagon Wheel.
Yep.
And she had on this little white cowboy hat and white cowboy boots. White fiddle.
I did it too.
Right. And you just did it too. And so she played with us and we're like, oh, that was awesome. And it was like, so come back and play with us again. And now 3 years later, she's part of the band. Like she went on tour with us. She played on the Harvest Wind album. She played on the live album. So on the live album, we have 17 songs from the start of the band all the way till recently.
And it was hard to pick.
It was hard to pick because with 3 full-length albums and few EPs and stuff, it's like, well, which songs do we pick? So we tried to pick 17 of the best ones we like. So we did 16 and then we had an encore song. We didn't know if we would get Struck by Your Love on there. And then everybody's like, do you want us to play one more? And like, yeah. So we played Struck by Your Love. So there's 17 songs on there. So it's in the editing, mixing stage. There were some problems with the percussion, the way it was recorded. So Kevin, our engineer, is trying to fix it with sampling the drums to try to get some drum tones because the live album was played on, it's called a slap box, and it's like a wooden box you put between your knees, and it's digital though, and every hit you can make one sound like the snare drum or one sound like whatever, but it was plugged in incorrectly and it just sounds like. So he's fixing that. So.
And then there were some times where we forgot the words, so we had to
went back in.
We had to punch in.
We may have punched in a few lyrics that we messed up, but
how'd the song go?
Other than that, it's completely live.
It's interesting because there's certain songs that we play live all the time, and we nailed those songs that night.
Right.
There were other songs that we don't really play.
We haven't played them in years, or we've never played them live. So we practiced. We did practice like 3 or 4 times with the full band because we don't normally play with a full band. Usually it's just me and Jamie and Xander and Chloe, but we had a bass player and a lead guitarist and all that stuff. Frank, who plays lead on all our albums, was with us. So anyways, you were going to get to the question. That was like a big sidetrack.
It was like
no. I mean, like, this is way more interesting. We want to hear about the new stuff that's happening. A lot of people want to know about what's going on, and what you're up to. And
well, there you go. That's a lot. That's a dump truck load of stuff for you.
Yeah.
That was amazing. So this is a question from Lenz from Germany. And he said, have you ever considered doing an Iced Earth song live at one of your shows? Like a Jacob's Well show.
We have. So if anybody ever follows my YouTube page, I did an acoustic version of Written on the Walls, and we have talked about doing that. So a folk version of that. So that's been talked about.
That would be great.
Yeah. So yeah, definitely.
We're not afraid to folk anything.
Right. So Jamie, he has a big history in progressive rock and metal, and then my history. So we definitely are not afraid to try some craziness, so
that last album of ours was great because we definitely, I think, dabbled into some of that
progressive. If you listen to the song Lonely White Crow on there, it's a little on the progressive side. Yeah. So
I mean, that song could be recorded as a metal song
easily. Add a little distortion on the guitars. And so we're down.
That is super cool.
So I actually have a question of my own. Actually, I noticed today that y'all posted some concept art for maybe the live album. How close are you to thinking maybe that might be it, or is that just something you're throwing out there to see if people like?
That's it. I mean, people seem to really love it. So yesterday, this is how it worked out. So every Thursday night, my son, who lives a little bit of ways from us, he comes over to our house on Thursday nights to hang out with us. And he's really talented artist and everything like that, and real good with the computer. He has several softwares where he can do like art, graphic stuff. So I said, hey, we want to do a cover for the new live album, and I kind of gave him the ideas. I wanted like a road like through the mountains, and he starts, here you go. So that came about like in an hour at my house with him on the computer. So yeah, that's it. I mean, everybody seems to love it, so we're okay with that.
And when we were getting ready to do a live album, I was thinking of a title, and I kept coming back to our song "Find My Way Home."
Right.
I just really felt like that song as a whole really defines Jacob's Well, who we are.
Right.
In that song. If you look at the lyrics,
it's all about the journey.
Yeah.
It's like you can't do it on your own. You're not on this journey alone, and we're on a journey, and it's all about, that definitely.
Yeah. It was, Gene and I, and along the way, have just met some incredible
amazing
people that just helped us.
And like with Chloe, like just coming into our lives, and Kevin, and just all these people, Xander, and all these people just coming in, and just it's all just part of God's plan. You know what I mean? And we're finding our way home. We're like all of us. None of us have it figured out. We're all finding our way home. We're all on the path.
So that's where the title comes from.
It's funny, speaking of that, I was telling Rose earlier, right, that cover and that name actually is so close to the book I put out a few years ago. It's got like a road and everything, kind of like that, and the actual title is called "Finding Myself Again."
Oh wow, that's very cool.
Nice.
Yeah,
yep.
That's very awesome.
And then on the back, I think we're gonna have a photo of the band from that night.
So the full band, right?
Who is we have a picture of the band, so that'll be on there with
the list of the songs and all that stuff. So we hope Kevin has it now. He's almost done fixing the drums, so it should be out. I'm hoping digitally by sometime early December, and then we'll send it off to have the CDs made. We were going to do it on vinyl, but with 17 songs, it would have to be a double album. So we're just going to put it on CD and digital. Maybe later down the road, if it does real well, we'll pick some songs off of it and shorten it up, and we could do on vinyl maybe later. That was another thing. I'm sure Rose was going to bring up about the album. The whole vinyl thing is a whole story.
It's expensive.
It's expensive.
Yeah.
So we are. Go ahead.
Bill mentioned it on the show last week, so we let anybody know that did donate that there was a new option.
Right. Yep. Well, that was the problem, that like when you do a Kickstarter, like you're hoping a lot of people donate, and it just, I don't know if everybody liked the idea, but not a lot of people signed up. So we just figured, you know what? It's just not worth it. So maybe down the road, if sales are better, we're an independent band. We don't get paid by a record company or anything like that. Just to do 100 albums is over $1,000, and it's just like, if you're not sure of if they're all going to sell, it's like you end up giving them away. You know what I mean? It's like, you go on a gig and somebody's like, hey, anybody want an album? You know what I mean? It's like, so if we said if we couldn't get pre-sales for 50 albums, we would not do it. And we did not get 50. So we decided not to do it. Maybe that's because we suck, or I don't know what it's because of, but it is what it is. So we made the new offer is a live CD, and we're going to come up with a cool t-shirt design for the 10-year anniversary.
And we have someone that does our shirts. They have a shop, and that's another
thing.
Oh
so tell the story of that.
So my son is dating this girl Alicia, and she has her own Etsy shop. She does a lot of stuff through there. So I asked her if she would want to do our merch. So she agreed to do our merch. We give her some designs, some different stuff. So she is sort of our official merch queen.
Right.
So we will be getting with her to see about doing some design, probably maybe with that
Right,
logo.
because we even have like,
Yeah.
hang on, let me.
Oh yeah, forgot about that. If you like coffee,
If you like coffee, like
look at that.
we have like the Harvest Wind coffee cups and whatever. We have hoodies. If you want anything, you can just contact us and we can work it out with
We
her.
did have our own like section on Etsy, but because of there's all sorts of rules, and stuff like that.
Licensing stuff. And,
so now what we're just doing directly through her. We
right.
pay her,
So you contact us
Yeah.
with whatever you want and we get it out to you. Again, at the end, maybe you can tag our Jacob's Well merch at gmail.com, our PayPal.
We sure will.
Anybody wants a CD or a T-shirt or whatever, we'll get it out to you.
So yeah, we're putting definitely our energy into the live album right now.
Yeah.
That's I think we're focused right.
Right.
now. Excited about
Well, you know,
Excited about that.
You know, I was saying, well, yeah, I was gonna say what could be cool is you could put like the Jacob's Well 10-year thing on the front, and maybe for the back of the shirt do the album cover.
Yeah.
Yep. Totally.
Yeah, we're gonna work on that after we once we know that the live album is done, then we can start working on the merch for it and stuff like that. So
yeah,
it's definitely gonna have. I would like to have that font, that the same writing that's on the thing.
Oh, yeah.
On you know, like
Totally
I really like that.
Yep.
So
Absolutely.
so yeah, it's definitely cool.
I mean, we kind of just talked a lot about this, but Dave Myers, I know he joins a lot of your live streams and
Yeah.
wanted to join tonight, but he's sick.
David, get better, brother.
Okay.
He's basically asked what the future of Jacob's Well is going to look like, which you guys gave a rundown, but I'm sure there's something more to say. And then he said, who would you guys be willing to work with in the future? And has Jamie been a part of any other projects?
Well, future, believe it or not, we already have our next tour
Almost booked,
fully booked
for next fall.
Yeah,
So
October.
for next October.
So we have that to look forward
Right.
to. I do a lot of solo work as well. And the cool thing about the solo work is it makes me better for Jacob's Well. So like doing solo work, and a lot of times I'll try out songs. Like, well, hey, I wonder if this song would work with Jacob's Well, because we're not afraid to try Led Zeppelin or
Right.
Ozzy.
Yeah, we just did Stairway to Carolina
Stairway
this
to
last
Carolina.
week.
So we tagged the end of going to California with the end of Stairway
to Heaven. So.
Yeah. And Chloe did
the whole.
Yeah, see, there we go.
The whole violin. Yeah. She did the whole lead solo Stairway to Heaven on the violin. She's just so talented, it's crazy. But back to Jamie, I'm sorry.
Oh yeah, I do some solo stuff, and I have like other friends come and join me, and again, that's just kind of a cool thing. And I'm also music. I don't know what I call my worship. I guess I'm a worship pastor officially now.
Cool.
So I do that as well on the side. But the solo thing again is cool because I get to try stuff, and then I'll try to, hey, this might work for Jacob's Well or something,
And also it opens opportunities for gigs for us because you're like, hey, I'm in a band too,
Yeah.
Our band could play here sometime. So we'll get a lot of gigs from his solo performance.
Yeah, even North Carolina, I would do some solo gigs up there, and then, hey, by the way, I also have a band called Jacob's Well, and then we've been able to slide right in.
Like
the one we played
right
in Silva.
We play this little town in North Carolina up in the mountains called Silva. There's a place called Breadhead's Tiki Shack, and it's just this cool little like bar restaurant place, and it's so small. We couldn't fit all our like equipment; it would have been too loud, so we just played acoustic.
It was so much fun.
It was so much fun. Just I just like to get up and just jam and just play acoustic set was pretty cool.
Yeah, so it was like a 2-hour show, and it was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
So maybe we'll do that again next October. Yeah. But that's basically what I do, and then the Jacobs Well stuff, which is.
Were you in any
Yeah.
bands before? Was part of the question.
Oh, I was in. So Hunter, who plays bass on the live album, he and I have been doing music together. So we were in a band, like a rock cover band.
Yes.
So we did Led Zeppelin, we did the Eagles, we did all that.
And
crazy
you
good
played.
stuff. I drummed. So I've been
He's a drummer. He's actually.
Yeah.
He doesn't like normally play guitar and mandolin and all that stuff. He's a drummer.
Yeah, I've been a drummer since 1990. So I played drums in lots of different bands and also church. But it's really been the last, I would say.
When was the
6
last
years.
time you played drums, Jamie?
Like
on the
drums,
last
drums?
Jacobs Well album? On the
Well,
last Jacobs album, Kevin played
Kevin
drums.
played all the drums. I like to be doing the best in the album. I like to play the drums. I told him how I think some of the drums should go. But I man, it's been a while since I've like played drums. Like I've done some cajon stuff, but it's been a while. Yeah.
And you
That's
played
okay.
back in the 80s or
The
90s? 90s? I don't know.
Well,
What was the band you played in?
well, I played the
Killian's Road.
Killian's Road. That was like
Okay.
a 3-piece kind of
Progressive
rock.
band.
Well, I wanted to go progressive, but we kind of wound up going like bar rock, and I didn't want to do bar rock, so whatever it is. But then,
Bar rock.
but I never did any. Yeah, you know, and I didn't know Gene was this rock god. So like, I think it was like
How did you find out? I forget.
you came and spoke. You did.
Oh
thing
yeah,
with
I
the
spoke
youth.
at the youth group. So we both
Yeah.
were, the way we met was through the youth group at our church.
Yeah.
So we both worked with the teenagers and stuff at church as kind of like mentors or whatever. And then I got up and I did like a testimony kind of thing where I spoke to them, and that's where it kind of came out. And they put like a picture of me up there back when I was in Iced Earth and stuff, and I think Jamie was shocked and appalled.
I don't know how I felt seeing the leather pants and the long hair. It was bewildering. So yeah, but it was pretty cool. And actually, I actually very much enjoy the music
Yeah.
that you guys did. Like,
Yeah.
It was pretty incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, there it is.
Do you have like a website or like a Facebook or anything like that?
Music by Jamie is my Facebook. Music
Okay.
by Jamie, and you'll see mostly Jacobs Well stuff on there. The
Okay.
cool thing is I have a few like booking agencies that will, which is nice. So they'll kind of book me and stuff like that. But I also always like our Jacobs Well stuff there too, because that's part of the world. So yeah. But yeah, I play locally and all that good stuff. But yeah.
Cool.
The cool thing about Florida is it's like year round. You know what I mean? Like there's lots of beach bars and lots of
Yeah.
opportunities to play where like up north, you know, it's with the snow and stuff. But here it's like it's pretty much
All the time.
365 days a year.
Yeah.
There's somewhere you can play at. you
Monday
know?
through Sunday.
So it's good atmosphere for music here, for live music. We were just listening. This is something completely different. Freaking AI music. There's this. It's like it's gotten so bad that it's so good.
Yeah.
It's like, are you kidding me? Like
We're worried. Yeah.
we're like,
That's
I'm
actually a question that one of the fans had for you,
No
believe it
way.
or not.
Okay.
It's like, well, I was watching on my Instagram this fake music site. It's called Fake Music. And they got like 1,000 videos, or not videos, but just clips. Everything from Iron Maiden to, you know, Michael Jackson, and every kind of country, folk, funk, every kind of music style. And it's like, are you kidding me? Like,
Right.
what is happening? Like, I think well, go ahead and ask the question, because I don't want to.
I wonder what the question is now.
Well, no, I mean that's fine. It's our friend Blind Metal Gamer. He asked a lot, but part of this question
Yeah,
he has like a long question, but part of
Okay.
it was
break
what
it down.
he would love to hear your thoughts on AI music apps.
Jamie, tell your story, because okay, so for those of you who don't know, Jamie's day job is he works for the school system here in Pinellas County.
Yep.
And tell him, I'll let you.
So it's probably gonna be shocking. I'm an instructional coach for elementary science. So I have 28 years. This is my 28th year. So I write science curriculum, I coach teachers in science instruction. So during the lockdown, being a musician, during COVID, I started writing my own science songs. Like, hey, it'd be cool if kids hear some songs. So and they're original too. So I came up with the lyrics myself. I didn't like copy anybody. And I put those together in like little PowerPoints so the kids could watch some cool videos and learn some science. So this year I checked out this site called Suno AI. So I'm a fan, I guess. So I took my original songs, put the lyrics in there, told it like what style I want to do. So I've been like remixing my science songs, and so far it's been. I went into a classroom, they were listening to one. The kids are like bopping around. But today I did one, and I'm like, let's have some fun. So I wanted the song in metal. Oh my gosh, it was amazing. So it's like, the science song, and I'm afraid to like give it to the teachers. Like it might scare the kids. I don't know, but I don't know how I feel about it. I like it, especially in the educational part. We do use it.
Jacob Swell will never use it.
Okay. How about the cover of Harvest Wind? Yeah.
Right. Oh, okay. Yeah. I meant into music.
Oh, into music.
Into music.
I mean,
we would never do. I want to say never. I don't want to say never, because we were just talking before we got on here. Like, so what we do as Jacob Swell, besides our original music, is we do some like cover songs, but we like make them our own, like a kind of folk with banjos and mandolins. So how great would it be to find an arrangement for a song just by saying, give me a folk arrangement for this song, and then to be able to like use that as like a cool way to find a new arrangement for like a rock song.
Because we stumbled on to like, we'll do Three Doors Down.
Right, we do Three Doors Down, Kryptonite, like folk style with banjo and stuff like that.
People love it because they're like, I have never heard that song done with these.
And we do Imagine Dragons.
Yeah,
radioactive on, with banjo and stuff.
Yeah. So, but maybe AI could give us some
ideas on how to like put a spin on a song.
Yeah. We wanted to do it Ozzy.
Right. But as far as like, I don't even like, I'm going to say some churches and some bands use a lot of backing tracks. I'm not even into that. Like, I'm an old school, I'm 60 years old, so I'm like an old school musician. I don't like the backing tracks or any of that stuff. I want to hear, even if it sucks, I would rather hear just the people playing their thing, doing their thing. I don't want to hear the backing tracks. I don't care for it at all. So that's just me personally.
It's a very interesting time for sure.
Because you go see a band and like, I love Queensryche, so let's go back to the 80s and stuff. They used backing tracks even way back then, and it was great, but it was their music kind of lended to that. That was kind of like very theatrical.
Yeah.
But as far as like a grassroots kind of band like we are, we just like to make like, because we'll take a song and we'll extend it, we'll jam, we'll play leads, and a 3-minute song turns into a 5-minute song. So for us, those backing tracks and all that stuff, it doesn't work for us. But
and a lot of times we'll play a song completely different from the week we did it before.
Right.
Time we did it before, yeah.
Jacob Swell is very much like a jam band.
Pretty much. Yes.
I mean, the live album, we tried to stick to the like how it sounds on the album.
Yeah.
But even then, it's like
totally different.
Because like 600 miles and like when we're all together jamming, we're like, wait, listen to this, and like we can do this, and like all of a sudden the song like takes on this whole new dimension. Like it's just when you hear the live album, it's like if you hear the studio versions, I mean it's the same basic like arrangement, but it's just when we're live, we vibe off one another. And Frank, the lead guitar player, he played on all of our albums pretty much, and he's just one of those kind of guitar players that knows what to play for each situation. Like he just doesn't shred just to shred. Like if he can play like a cool little slide part that fits, that sounds cool. Like if you listen to In Bed with Jezebel on the Harvest Moon album, that's him doing that slide guitar part. You know, it's like he's just a really cool.
I feel like AI is kind of taking away creativity.
Yes, definitely.
Can it spark ideas and things like that, new avenues? I think so. But at the same time, it could also hamper or take away, human creativity.
And I think in the future, after this kind of goes on, people will crave human music.
Hopefully.
People will want to hear the human side of music. Real people that love real music will get bored with the AI music, I think, before, and they'll want to hear human music, like emotion. Like that's what, you can program in the greatest voice and the greatest keyboard player and the greatest, but that human factor is what makes music what it is.
100%.
Did that answer the question, or at least the first?
I think so. He had, like I said, he has a few questions for you. So, he actually was wondering. Now, this is pure fantasy. It's not happening. I just want to make sure the fans know that. But if Jon Schaffer were to ever do a reunion, would you consider being involved with that? Like if he did like some type of reunion thing or.
Absolutely. I speak to Jon quite regularly, and right now he's very involved. He's working for a legal firm.
Yep.
And that's his main focus now. And I think I'm not going to rule it out, but for at least the near future, I don't know if any new Iced Earth music is going to be on the horizon. Like I wouldn't look for and I definitely know he does not want to play he doesn't want to just go out on the road and play a bunch of old Iced Earth stuff. He's not into that at all. Now, if there was an opportunity to do some new stuff or something came up, yes, but I know for a fact that he doesn't want to get on an airplane and fly to Germany just to go through some grueling tour playing. He loves the fans, and it's not a matter of he doesn't want to do it for the fans. It's just not where he's at in his head anymore. He's on to his next phase in his life. I mean, life is, it's seasons, and he's on a new season in his life, and he loves it. And he's like, just as much as he is into Iced Earth and that drive, he is 100% just like that with this. I mean, I talked to him on the phone the other day for 2 hours about what he's doing right now, and with the legal fund and stuff. So he's this is his new vision, and like he said, he doesn't rule out in the future, if God puts it on his heart to do something, he's going to do it. But right now, this is his focus. So but if there was a reunion or something, or there was an album with like all the singers singing a line or something like that, would be great. I never say never to any of those projects, because as long as someone's paying for the studio time, I'm down. That's the way I look at it. That's the way I look at it, man. Like if you're paying, I'll come sing on anything you got.
Yeah, I mean, I got Jon's his new latest T-shirt design on the Attorneys on Retainer site.
Yeah, it's badass, right?
Yeah, he's doing some great stuff.
And he loves it, man. He loves it.
Absolutely.
Yes, he's very happy. He's at peace. It's just so good because, like, before the pardon and all that stuff, I mean, he was very, like, his life was, he was under so much stress, and just you could see it in his health, his weight. He lost weight. He just, you could just see the stress that he was under. And then once that pardon came, and once he got on with the retainer thing, and it's like it's just a whole new guy. He's just like full of life again. You just see the joy in his face again, you know, and it's really nice. It's
Yeah,
awesome.
yeah,
Awesome.
it's great stuff. And this guy has one more question.
Okay.
If you
Part
were,
C.
Part
if
3.
you,
See.
if you were to, if so, he wanted to know if you were ever to do a concept album with Jacob's Well, what would the concept be?
Well,
We
I
just
think
did one.
we really already did one. If you want to listen to a concept album, listen to Harvest Wind, because it is a full concept album. And that album, the way it came together was a miracle. It was really just, I don't know how it happened, because it was supposed to be, all those songs on Harvest Wind were supposed to be this bigger piece, this bigger album with Carolina Breeze. All these songs were going to be on one album. And when we started recording them, we started to realize there's two albums. There's two things happening.
Two different, completely different sounds
Yes.
happening here.
And so we did Carolina Breeze,
which is very like Appalachian,
Yeah.
North Carolina, Moonshine Creek.
Oh yeah.
Carolina
We got the
Breeze,
Juice Harp
on there, and all that.
And then the Harvest. Okay, let's take these songs. Let's put them over here. And then Gene came up with the opening to Harvest Wind,
Right.
The Vineyard.
The Vineyard.
And I'm like, well, that's got to start the album. And then he was doing some recording. Like there were a couple of times where he and I both weren't at the studio at the same time at Kevin's. So I remember he called me because I had this other song called Harvest Wind, and it was more of a country. It was 2/4, like, you know, country. And Gene was like, "Hey Jamie, could you possibly rearrange the song to make it more rock?" I'm like, "Yeah, why not?" So I kind of rearranged the song, went up there and recorded it. So it sounds completely different. The song Harvest Wind on the album, it's like a U2 rock.
It's
song.
amazing.
Then the 2/4 country version of the song. It's just the way the whole thing, and then the Chasing the Wind.
And Forever Home.
Forever Home
The
was-
final song on there. The whole album. So if you bought the CD, you got the booklet and then the whole like story.
Yeah.
You got it, right? If you
Yes.
read the story, it's the whole story of, you know, and so that is our concept album, Harvest Wind. It's called Harvest Wind. It's all about just, to me, like when I started writing for it, it was kind of the song "Lonely White Crow" came from me actually seeing this white crow and like looking into what is I've never seen a white crow before. What is a white crow? Finding out that it's like the Native Americans believe it's like a messenger, like almost kind of like an angel of judgment. So that started the whole ball rolling, and it's kind of about the second coming of Christ, but it's also about this guy's journey from the life that he left behind due to his bad choices and coming back to like seeing the repercussions of that. And Jamie wrote the story. Jamie wrote the whole story.
Yeah, as we were piecing the album together, I just kept getting this like story in my head about this guy. Yeah, this weary traveler who's trying to come back to those broken pieces of his life and trying to make sense of what happened, and just looking for repentance. And I don't want to get the ending away, but story. And so as you listen to the album, you read the story, it literally all
Comes
flows.
together.
Every song flows.
Every
Everything
song
comes
is in the story.
Yeah.
If you don't have a copy of Harvest Wind with the booklet and the story, Jacob's Well merch at gmail.com.
100%.
$25. I'll send you one. But
It's our dark side of the moon.
it's our, yeah, we call it Dark Side of the Well.
Yeah.
Speaking of Lonely White Crow, Mr. Schaefer told me that's his favorite song on the album.
Yeah,
And,
he said he really connected with it.
He really loves that song, and you know, I really love it too. I love the whole album, but at first I don't know why, because I guess I was nervous when I was interviewing him when he mentioned it. I thought he was talking about Gene Simmons
know,
because,
right.
because he's a big Kiss fan. I go, oh my god, I'm so stupid.
He said, I love Gene's new album
Gene,
song.
okay.
And she goes, Gene Simmons? And he's like, no,
He
Gene
just, like,
Adams.
laughed at me.
That's great.
So another thing for all the like guitar geeks and stuff out there, that whole album kind of came about because I started playing in open G tuning. And so open G tuning, for if you're not a musician, like when you play like a G chord, if you tune your guitar so when you strum it open, it's a G chord. And it opens up all this like these new chords that you normally wouldn't play, because now I play slide guitar a lot on the open G. And Lonely White Crow came out of that, you know, and so did The Vineyard. And then at the same time, I was like, you see the mandolin hanging on the wall. I want to just have a mandolin hanging in the wall. And I'm like, I'm looking for all these thrift shops. I just want an old beat up mandolin, and I couldn't find one. So I'm like, all right, I just went on Amazon and I bought a mandolin. I'm like, well, dang it, I might as well learn how to play this thing. So I started playing mandolin, and that was another part. So the whole Harvest Wind album is just like it grew out of the studio. It really it became like it grew. It just blossomed in the studio. It was amazing.
And Forever Home was literally, I was at the studio, I was doing bass and some mandolin and stuff like that, and I'm getting ready to go. And we have our book. I flip open, and sitting right there is the song I wrote 10 years ago, Forever Home. Originally, I wanted it on the Bitter Days album, but I was kind of like, I don't know about this song. So we didn't do it on Bitter Days. So I kind of just kept it. So I flipped, there it is. And Kevin's like, what? I'm like, I think I got one more song. So we literally in like 30 minutes recorded the guitar, we did mandolin, bass, vocals, sent it over to Gene because he had not heard it because I had to rearrange it a little bit. He absolutely loved it. We had Chloe on it.
The violin solo on there.
I could not expect a song to come out as well as I thought, because it was amazing.
To me, the coolest thing about one of the coolest things about the Harvest Wind album is the musicality of it. It's just like so many cool instruments, and just like the way they blend together, the electric guitar, you know, everything in open G tuning, and the mandolins, dulcimer, like on the song Thirsty, that song Thirsty is literally a mandolin, a dulcimer, and a violin and vocals. And then Chasing the Wind is just dulcimer, mandolin, and violin. So there's a lot of like, it's just like things that just came together. Like if you've ever like in the studio, like sometimes things just come together, like things just happen, you know, like we had these songs and we're like, here, Chloe, make up some violin part. And then she just starts playing, and you're like, your jaw like hits the floor, you know what I mean? And it just like this.
It was wonderful. If I had never recorded again, a Harvest one would be enough for me.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a big statement.
Oh yeah.
Speaking of Queensryche, with the style of music that you guys do, ever chance of a Jacob's Well version of Silent Lucidity?
Dude, that would be awesome.
That'd be really cool.
I was in a band, and we did that song. So I played drums on it. But I remember playing that song, and it was a lot of fun.
We could definitely do a folk version with some mandolin and stuff like that.
Yeah.
That would be
That's a good.
I'd
That's
love
a
to
good
hear that.
suggestion.
I'm going to take a look at that.
We're gonna take a look at it. We're gonna go on our AI
Sure.
program right now and
Yeah.
put in Queensryche, Silent Lucidity,
We are
full.
not afraid. We are not afraid. Songs and before I can't think of any offhand. Maybe you can, Gene, that we're like, nah, that didn't work. I don't know.
No, not that didn't
Yeah.
really work.
Like, do that again.
No, I think we've always, maybe some we don't play anymore that
Yeah.
probably weren't our favorites,
Right.
but we try some crazy stuff. Like we do Don't Stop Believing by Journey.
Yeah.
Like a folk version of that.
Yeah.
We do Rock and Roll by Led Zeppelin, like a folk version of that. We do
Xander does the whole
drum solo on washboard and kick drum.
washboard, kick drum, and
Wow.
a djembe drum.
Impressive.
So what are some other crazy songs that we do?
So we do still haven't found what I'm looking for by U2.
Right.
And that's turned into this just I don't know. It's cool. People like it, but it
It's
doesn't
cool
sound
because it
anything
doesn't
like
sound anything like the YouTube version. I play mandolin on it or slide
Slide,
guitar,
yeah.
and it's just like I don't know. It's just we take songs and we did "Mama I'm Coming Home" by
Oh, yeah.
Ozzy the other night.
That was fun.
Yeah, so I don't know. It's just we're not afraid to take on anything.
We've done Comfortably Numb
Yeah,
with Chloe does the whole violin solo.
the whole lead solo to "Comfortably Numb" she
Yeah.
does on violin.
Yeah.
She's
Wow.
really so. If anybody out there, go to violinist
Yeah.
Chloe Wara on Facebook or Instagram, and you can check out her page. Yeah, he also played here a traveling band that does like a Pink Floyd Dark Side of the Moon and the
Oh.
Wall album. She traveled with them and did their
Yeah.
orchestra. So she'll come in and
She's in with that group.
right.
So, hey, come play with us. She's playing with Trisha Yearwood.
Trisha Yearwood, right?
Wow.
And she played with Alan Parsons'
Yeah.
project in the
Wow.
orchestra.
Yeah.
Yeah. So and she plays with Jacob Swell. So
She does.
you know, we're cool.
She slumps. Yeah,
She's around with Jacob
that's
Swell.
right.
She play any fiddle?
She's not really a fiddle player, I wouldn't say. I think we were like hoping for a fiddle player,
Yeah.
and then we got like this amazing like rock like
Which is
violinist, which is fine. We
Yeah.
like, we were like, oh, maybe she'll learn how to play like the fiddle, but she's into rock music. She was a Metallica fan.
Yep.
She's full on metal, man.
Yeah.
She is not like and so we're fine with it. We've made it work. Like she fits right in, man.
Nice.
So we have a comment from Chris Buchanan.
Okay.
And his comment is, I've listened to the first album by Iced Earth on repeat, sometimes for weeks at a time. Also, Gene's
Wow.
performance on the
Wow.
Purgatory EP was phenomenal. So
Wow.
that's his
Well, thank you. Thank you. I
And
can't
then-
even listen to the first Iced Earth album that
We
much.
tried to
I feel like you have like on that album you like sing much differently now, but back then it felt like a King Diamond feel,
Yeah, well, back then, so I started out playing guitar in rock bands in high school and stuff like that. And then there was never anybody that wanted to sing. So I'm like, I'll sing, and I would just sing. I never took any lessons or I mean, we were just partying. I don't know. It wasn't, I was living paycheck to paycheck. I couldn't afford vocal lessons. You know what I mean? It's like
Sure.
barely able to afford my rent. You know what I mean? No less vocal lessons, but we were just having fun. I mean, Greg Seymour was not the greatest drummer in the world, but it was like, it's kind of like, and Bill and all of them, we weren't the greatest. We were just a unit. We were a band. You know what I mean? And then once things got bigger and bigger, I think it kind of started to outgrow itself, and it became something else. And it's great. It became Iced Earth, and it is amazing what it became. but it outgrew what it used to be, if you know what I mean. We were just a bunch of guys just having fun. You know, we wanted to get signed and play all over the world. But then it became bigger than that. And so I'm fine with that. You know, I'm happy where I'm at. I love John and I loved what I did with Iced Earth, and th- getting to do that Purgatory thing was amazing. Like just that whole time was just like, I don't know, it was just like old friends together, just like having a good time, you know, and getting to record those songs the way because those songs were originally recorded and released off of you know what an old jam box is? I don't know if you guys know like what a jam box is. You guys are kind of young, but it was just like a big thing with a cassette player in it, and it had built-in microphones. And we would set it outside of the rehearsal room because it was too loud inside the rehearsal room. And those first, if you look, those first Horror Show and all that stuff, the Purgatory cassettes that are out on everywhere people buy them, those were recorded on a jam box. And, you know, those songs were really good, but they sounded like crap because of the way they were recorded. So getting to do the Purgatory thing was like, this is how these songs were, how we always thought they sounded to us when we played them live. But to get to finally hear them in the studio the way we always wanted them to be it was a great time. It was really a good time. And working with Jim Morris was fun, and just it was just fun. It was a fun project. It was definitely more fun than the first Iced Earth album. The first Iced Earth album was it was a rough period for the band. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah, I can imagine. And, you know, when you're starting out anything, I mean, it takes years to do the startup thing and get to that point with an album and everything. So I can imagine a lot of chaos and whatnot.
Lots of chaos and just a lot of, we just didn't know what we were doing. You know what I mean?
Sure.
We were just, you know, so, but it is what it is. And it's a classic to me. I think it's a classic.
Oh, it is.
So
Phenomenal. Graham says your vocal delivery on the debut has a very distinctive raw energy. How did you develop such a style, and who were your main influences at the time?
My main influences at the time were definitely Rob Halford. So like if you ever heard the album Sad Wings of Destiny.
Oh, that's a great one.
I would put the headphones on and I don't know what my neighbors thought, but I would scream along with those high screams on Sad Wings of Death, Dreamer Deceiver, and all those songs. Man, that was my album. Sad Wings of Destiny, Sin After Sin, Stained Class, all that Old Priest. Like, I didn't really care for Defenders of the Faith. I didn't care for Screaming for Vengeance. It was, to me, that was like commercial metal. I don't know, like some of the songs on there, like Electric Eye and all that was good, but I like Old Priest, like even Rock and Roll and like that. I just love that raw like energy that Rob Halford had back in the day. And I grew up in the metal scene anyways during the time of like Merciful Fate's first album, Melissa, and you know, Metallica's first EP and the first album, and Slayer's first album. That's when I was starting to listen to metal, and you know, Ozzy and of course all that other stuff. But I'm talking as far as like the underground stuff. So definitely King Diamond was, I don't know if an influence, but definitely that the first two Merciful Fate albums were life changing for me. Don't Break the Oath and Melissa. When those two albums came out, the first time I heard the Melissa album, it was just like the music and the vocals. So yeah, definitely King Diamond and Rob Halford, you know, were my biggest influences.
You know, speaking on that, you know, I've seen a lot of bands that would go back and like say like maybe their debut or an album or something in their early catalog, they'd go back and re-record it because they didn't like the way the production was or something other like that or whatever. But I've always said like they're just like with the first Iced Earth record and like you were talking about with the Priest albums, the first couple there, there was just something magical about those records that even like, because you don't really think of the production and stuff like it's just you listen to it and you're like, man, this is awesome, and it's just the greatest thing in the world. And as a fan, you know, you when you go and mess with something like that, it almost takes like the sentimental and the thing that you had the love for that album, and it's just like, why would you? I mean, it's kind of like warts and all in a way, right? It's like you
Right.
take that album, and it's just like there's something magical about it, and you can't catch lightning in a bottle twice. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
No, I agree totally. Like, to me, Sad Wings of Destiny, it's magical. The way the songs flow together, the production, the tone, guitar tones, the vocal melodies. It's magic. And the first Merciful Fate album is just magic, man. It's just when you're in a band and you go in the studio and you record something like that, it's like, you know, it's something special. It's like, wow, this is like something happened in the studio that was magical.
you know, and I want to add one more thing, and I've always said to me, I think those analog albums like that had the best sound. They were just there's something about them like you can't recreate that digitally.
Yeah.
And it's you know that I know the tape and stuff is expensive to do and all that stuff, and probably a lot of studios don't even do that anymore. But it was just that analog, man. It just I don't know. There's something about it.
Yeah, definitely. Like now it's a lot easier now. Like you can cut and paste and move stuff around and all that stuff. But back then there was just something like that sound that even like a lot of the bands during the late 90s and early 2000s, a lot of those grunge bands, they would record in analog just to get that sound, you know. There's a whole documentary about there's a studio out in California or whatever that was one of the last analog studios that like Nirvana, when it was the studio where Tom Petty recorded all his stuff. And, you know, a lot of bands wanted that sound.
What were the early days of Iced Earth like? Did you guys play a lot of club shows and do some touring with the early lineup? I mean, I know the answer to that, but maybe some other people don't.
We didn't really play a lot. We practiced a lot. We practiced 4 days a week, sometimes 5 days a week, and maybe once a month we would play a show. There was a couple local metal clubs we would play at and stuff. Our whole goal was just to keep getting better and better and try to get a record contract. Back then, it wasn't like nowadays where, you know, there was no Spotify or iTunes and all that stuff. If you wanted your music to be heard, you had to have a record contract. And there were so many metal labels like, you know, Metal Blade and Roadrunner and Metal Forces and all those record labels were out there, but they were getting thousands and thousands of cassettes a day of metal bands. There was just the market was flooded. So our focus was really just trying to get better and better and better, and just keep writing better songs. Playing out was never really a big focus for us in the early days. It was fun. We did it. You know, you didn't make any money back then doing it. You just, you know, you played for free, basically. You know, sometimes they give you part of the door or whatever the door made, but it was just for exposure. But we weren't interested really in local exposure. We were interested in, you know, like John, you know, we wanted to dominate the world, you know, that was our thing. We wanted to take over the world, you know, and that was always our goal.
I have one final question for both of you guys from Rick. What led you to Christianity?
Jamie, you go first.
Yeah. Well, I didn't grow up in a Christian home. My parents are still married. They've been married almost 60 years. But very loving, great childhood. But we didn't have, God wasn't a part of our house. It wasn't until I met my wife, Rebecca, she wanted to not just get married in church. He actually wanted to become members of a church. So it was through that process, and it's funny because, um, you know, being a drummer, I was doing some stuff, but I wasn't doing really much anything. I was definitely more of a, you know, at home. I would practice at home. I'd have my headphones on. I'd be playing along to some Yes or some King Crimson or some Genesis or something. That's what I listened to. Some Emerson, Lake and Palmer, trying to just do all that crazy drumming stuff. And then, you know, we were doing some pre-marriage type stuff at this church, and I met this guy who just put together a contemporary worship band. And he asked, "Hey, do you play an instrument?" I'm like, "Yeah, I play the drums." He said, "Oh, you want to come play next Sunday? We're doing." So I mean, that's where it started, and I'm like, "Oh my gosh, we're playing drums." Um, it was really cool because I wasn't like a Christian yet, but they came kind of came alongside me, and you know, would answer questions and through that church, and we got married at that church, but then wound up going to the Billy Graham Crusade in Tampa. You know, there was some great bands there, Christian bands like, oh yeah, Jars of Clay was there, and I fell in love with them. And it was kind of that's where it kind of started. But then, you know, being on church bands, and then started playing guitar, um, and then started singing behind the drums. So that's where I started singing. I actually started doing harmonies. So I had the little, Garth Brooks looking headphone thing, and I would start doing harmonies. And then eventually I would start lead singing from the drum set, which was pretty crazy. Through all that, yeah.
And
So
then
that,
became a worship leader,
and then
like playing guitar, leading worship.
Yeah.
In the church.
So it's
amazing.
It's been quite a journey. God's just used me in so many different ways. And then along the way, just meeting amazing people like this guy right here. Like the relationship he and I have, he's definitely a brother. You know, we talk to each other like brothers. And he's like he's family.
I mean,
yeah.
On that note, like away from the Christian, to be like I've been in bands before, but like me and Jamie, we've been playing music together for more than 10 years. Jacob Swell has been a band for 10 years. We played music before that. I mean, to find like somebody that like, I mean, we have something that is just like it's very special.
Yeah.
Like we don't. There's no ego involved in it. He writes a song, I write a song. It doesn't have to. There's never any like competition or. It's a really great thing that we have.
It's like such a time as this because I'm like, and this was older. Like you're 60, I'm 51, so it's like we were a little older when this band happened, which I think is really cool. Like, and I always wonder, like, why now?
Right.
Why did it happen now rather than when I was in my 20s or my 30s?
So we could still wear like spandex and stuff.
Right. I can't, but anyway, I'm kidding. But yeah, so it's been an awesome road, through that. How God's has used me through all these different.
And even recently, so.
Oh yeah.
I go to this church. It's an up and coming like local church, and Jamie and his family's been going to our church for 15 years, and he's led worship. He's always been on the worship team, always with the youth group. We always work together in the church, and then for whatever reason, there came a time when it was like, like a splitting of the ways, a parting of the ways. And it was devastating to Jamie, like hurt him. But when you see God working, because like the next, I don't know, was it a month later or whatever?
Months later.
He's asked to come to this other church that's part of we have like a conglomerate of churches in our group. He goes and he's the worship pastor there. So God had a plan, and it's just amazing to see like how God works in lives. So just watch it.
Yeah, I was asked to come in this church and rebuild the music team, and now been asked to stay. So it's pretty wild, very
That's
wild
wonderful.
ride.
You know, since we stumbled onto your stuff a couple years ago, it's been like a staple. Really, really,
Oh.
the vibe is just there, man. It's fantastic stuff.
We're
Thank
trying to eventually make a trip out to come see you guys play live.
Come to Florida,
would like
man. It's like the greatest place to come. We'll even take you around. There's so much to do here. You don't even have to go to Disney World and you'll still have a good time.
Oh, I'm sure.
I haven't gone since I was 5, so it's been a long time.
Well, we would love to, if you guys to come down one time. That'd be great
be
to meet you. I wish we could like afford to go like on a tour, like a real tour. It's just not. I mean, it's so much.
Yeah.
My son plays in a band, and they put together tours, but it's hard, you know.
Yeah.
For bands.
It's very hard. It's expensive and it's difficult.
You don't have a record label behind you and all that stuff. It's very hard.
We have jobs.
It's coming out of your
We have
pocket.
to have jobs and all that kind of thing.
We always think about you when we go to one of our. It's actually an hour away. We go upstate New York and go to this place called Pennings, and we think of you at the cidery because they have live acts that are a lot like yours, and we go,
Man,
oh,
we
we
would
wish
love to
Jacob's
play
Well
there.
could come here.
A lot of the we call them well diggers. So if
Yeah.
you're a fan of Jacob's Well, you're called a well digger.
Yeah.
So like we have some longtime fans, Chris Knotts and a couple other guys, Rick Clapper and those guys. And they're always like, come to, Pennsylvania, come here. We can't wait. Like we would love to put things. And it's just, it would be so nice to be able to like, go and meet those people. Stephen Kern, who's a good friend of mine. I believe he lives in South Carolina or North Carolina. But anyways, we did
The
that.
Of Ice guy.
Yeah, we did
Okay.
the Of Ice thing together. Well, he came to see us in North Carolina at one of our shows. So that was really good. Nice to meet him in person.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because like, it's just cool when you get to meet people like in person, other than just talking to them on Facebook or whatever on the phone. So, but back to the Christian thing. Last time we spoke, I did a whole thing about my Christian.
You did.
So go back to that interview, and it's a long story, but it's a good one. So you have to go into the podcast of the Wicked Archives and watch the last interview, and it'll all be explained there.
Yeah, and it was a great story. It was definitely a great story.
So
So check out you guys will link that below to the other podcast we did with Gene.
Yeah,
Like
definitely.
last year.
It's I like, just like Jamie, I never grew up. I didn't grow up Christian or anything, but just to see how God has worked in my life, and it's just amazing, like meeting Jamie and just the whole Jacob's Well thing, and how it started out as the idea we had for it was so small compared to what God has done with it. It's like, okay, we want to do this. Well, guess what? We're going to do this. So you just sit back and, get ready, like 10 years later and 5 albums, it's like, it's amazing. It's awesome.
So I got one more question for you, Gene.
Okay.
Well, actually, it's kind of a question, but also so when y'all's first EP came out, what was it? Southbound Train?
Outbound Train, right.
Southbound Train. I remember you guys putting that out, and I was one of the first guys, because back then is when I actually had my radio show.
Right.
I played songs on the radio and everything.
Yeah.
And the question I had to ask is, have y'all tried to pitch any of y'all stuff to radio or anything?
If somebody wants to put it on the radio, there's you guys know the Weapons of God band, so I follow them on Facebook, and they get their stuff played on the radio. So I reached out to them and tried to see if they could help us out with some of their connections with Christian radio. So I mean, I don't have any connections.
Yeah, but we always joke one day somebody's gonna hear something, and
It's going to take off.
yeah. So it has to be, just that right person. It's all about timing.
Right.
So you never know, but it's out there. Everything is out there.
But yeah, I'll send you some links to some of our songs that I feel like would be good for like radio or whatever.
Sure.
And if you can pass them on, that'd be great.
Sure, I definitely will.
Thank you.
Jacob Wells gonna bring back Behind the Music.
That would be great too.
Yeah.
Well, God bless, guys. Thank you for coming on.
Bless you guys. Nice to meet you.
Pleasure. Thank
Yep.
you.
Yeah.
So much.
Hopefully we'll make
Have a
it down
good
there and
night.
see you guys.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Come on down to Florida. It's beautiful. It's going to be 80 degrees all week. So come on down.
Nice.
Oh, you guys are lucky.
See you next time, guys.
Take it easy.
Okay, we'll see you later.
Later.